Hello ladies and gentlemen, today we're back in War Thunder and I thought it was time to kind of speculate on Operation Summer. So we have the awards together section and we've already gone past the third tier, which is actually kind of surprising. Past the unique player icon, the 650,000 task complete between the community. Now the next one is the symbol of Italy and the Panther FX-8320, but after that we have two open slots, which may pretty much contain anything. And I thought it would be interesting to have a look at stuff that Gaijin has done in the past when it's come to these reward tiers, and also what we may see from this, or so at least some interesting ideas that I've thought of, which I think could be implemented into the game. So we're obviously at least going to hit the symbol of Italy, the Panther FX-8320. I believe we're on the fourth challenge now on Operation Summer, and after doing 4 tiers, well, the thing is, people are going to get at least 7 tiers for the vehicle that they're going for, so we're at least going to get the symbol of Italy. So this, in my opinion, is a sure thing that we're going to see when it comes to these prizes that are unknown at this moment. So I think it's worth, having a think about. A lot of the ideas that I'm going to be talking about here are referencing either old giveaways or gifts, or looking at some ideas that I think would be interesting to add to them. The inspiration by a lot of them is actually from the Thunder League. The Thunder League website, or the web page, is still actually up there. You can go and have a look what was given away, what you had to buy into, how much money people had to spend to be able to get certain tiers and stuff like that. So it's definitely something you should have a look at, and you know what, I'll leave a link in the description for it so you can have a look. So some of them are based on that, but not all of them. The first one, which would be kind of interesting, would be just a set of interesting camouflages. This references Thunder League, where in Thunder League you had to do certain challenges for certain aircraft to get the color schemes of the teams participating in Thunder League, and this was a nice little idea. It seems like a lot of people enjoyed the skins and also want to see more just crazy skins. I mean, for me personally, I'd like to see them limited to arcade, but you know, that's just me. I suppose if you use the skin, you put yourself at a disadvantage, so yeah, maybe it isn't punishing you as much as I think it would. But yeah, it's simple as that. Basically bright orange, bright reds, greys, greens, light blues, stuff like that. Once again, you can have a look at all of the camouflage schemes that they used in Thunder League, and something very similar to that I think would work incredibly well, especially since we are split up by aircraft challenges and tank challenges, so it would be quite easy to work out who could earn both of them if they do both sets of challenges, or maybe if they only do the tank challenges, then they could only get the tank skins. I think that could be something that could be recommended. The one that they seem to like throwing out there a lot is the ticket to participate in a special vehicle tournament. Now, for the Thunder League, this was the E100. We had to basically get over $15,000 collectively as a community to be able for all of the dog tag owners to be able to participate in the E100 tournament. Now, the E100 tournament was pretty much a shit show when it came to the Thunder League. The dog tag owners, I should say. It did have a lot of issues with it, and when it actually went out to the public so they could play, it was a hell of a lot better. And the basic reason for that is they realized that you can't just put something like Calliope in a tournament like that, because people are just going to spam it, and it's just going to be whoever gets the first lucky shot off. Doesn't matter your skill, doesn't matter anything like that, it matters who is able to hit the rocket button first. And for me personally, I think it was one of the worst experiences I've had in War Thunder, but they fixed it when it came to everybody else playing, but then they made it so not everybody else had access to all the vehicles and you actually had to own the vehicles, which was another step back. So yeah, it was very unfortunate, to be honest, how that was run, and it was just not good. So hopefully if we do have a tournament like that for something like the 100 or something similar, like maybe the LA 174, maybe it would be nice if we have at least some kind of balance thing. It would be, I mean, the easiest thing to do would be to give each team the same vehicles, and that's it. That's the most balanced you're gonna get. It's something that a few people have brought up when we talk about a ranked mode in War Thunder, just having the same vehicles fight the same vehicles, just to make it as balanced as possible. So I can see that happening in tanks. I mean, it is definitely something to think about, but that would be a reward I would try and stay away from, just because it's... There's so many ways that players find to exploit systems in War Thunder. You don't want to give them another huge way of exploiting the system and making 90% of the player base hate you, whereas that 10% is the one that gets the vehicle and does well. So yeah, by exploiting the system, because it seems like a lot of these tournaments do come down to who can exploit it the best. The next point is obviously the most common one that probably a lot of people want, is the ability to unlock another special vehicle. If I was going to hazard guess, this would probably be the last tier, and they're either going to give away a tank or a plane. I really doubt they'll give away a gift ship for the pre-beta, but then again, that would also be a nice idea. But I have no real frame of reference on that since I've never done it before. Maybe they give away the JFK boat or something like that, but we'll just focus on these special vehicles that they have given away before. So the one which they try to give away in a lot of different ways is the RBT5. The RBT5 has two huge rockets on it. It isn't incredibly good, but the rockets being 250 kilograms, what happens is generally they do quite a decent bit of damage. Generally they one-shot everything that they hit, but the issue is it's very hard to hit with them, and it's just an interesting vehicle. It's something that's never going to dominate the battlefield, but definitely a nice collector's item, very much like the D520 from yesterday. So maybe they can add in something like that. Another thing, or another plane of the same ilk, is the XF5F Skyrockets. Now, this is an American, I believe it's a tier 3 premium plane. I do have it and did show it in my US special vehicle video, whatever you want to see it. If you want to have a look at it, it's in the popular videos on the channel. And yeah, the XF5F Skyrocket is not a very good plane. It's very good at turning, it's very good at climbing, it has no dive on it, and it pretty much has no guns. But what it is very interesting, and not really like anything else that we have in game, barring the, maybe, whatever it's called. Not the XP38G, but the one which is very similar to it. But the XF5F is a plane which hasn't really been given away since it was given away, which was nigh on 3 or 4 years ago now, probably about 3.5 years ago. So yeah, it would be nice to see it back in game. Something of the same ilk, which would be interesting to see, would be maybe some vehicles which are in the game but you cannot unlock anymore. So we had the recent edition of the Italians, and that brought up the fact that there's a bunch of SM79s in the game that people weren't able to research because maybe they started the game late, maybe they prioritized fighters or something. But the SM79s aren't really something that people look at and they're like, oh yeah, I definitely want to own them. But there are some really interesting vehicles in the game which maybe you would want to own. I mean, there's the Camouflage 102C, I believe it's called. And the Camouflage 102C is something that you were able to research very early on, which is a plane that I have. But unfortunately, it was taken out of the tree, and I don't really know why. It did have some flight model issues a very long time back, where it used to act very much like a helicopter. But surely that would be a hell of a lot easier to fix than it would be just to take it out of the game, or hide it in the game, I should say, because it's still in the game, you know, I still have it, and all of that. Also, there's things like the OS2Us. The OS2Us are completely useless, but it seems like a lot of the community want them just to kind of have them. Maybe they're an interesting plane which just appeals to people, maybe the American fan base, I don't really know, but out of the weird gift vehicles or the hidden ones in the game, it seems like a lot of people want the OS2U. Another one which could be added is the i301, but I would like to stay away from that machine, just because it is incredibly good at what it does, even though it got increased BR. I'm never going to touch it again, unless somebody wants me to make a video on it, but I think it's broken as hell. And I don't want to see more of them in the sky, but there's tons of different options. I mean, you got the T-34 prototype, you got the 76 German Sherman, the TB3, P-36A, A-26C once again, the D521, DB7, the Calliope if you really felt like it, the M8A1, like all of these vehicles I already have, but I think as a community it would be nice to have them, because a lot of people cry out for these gift vehicles, which you don't always see. But, you know, people still want them, they still want to be able to do stuff for them, and maybe this can be seen as being able to do stuff for them. You know, simple as that. Something that was brought up in the Thunder League thing, which was the last tier at $70,000, which we didn't actually get to. The final total for the Thunder League was 57,427, which is still an absolute ton of money, and, you know, the community really came together for that one. But the $70,000 prize tier was new and unique humorous radio commands for every owner of the dog tag. Now, I don't know where this idea came from, but I think that would be an interesting little thing to have. You know, people talk about very brash skins or brash gift vehicles such as the RBT5, but what about something which is a bit more personal? What about if you have these ridiculous voice lines in the game which you can turn on, you know, in the options menu if you want to have a bit of fun? You know what I would enjoy? I would enjoy a sound mod or a sound pack, which was just a collection of movie quotes and stuff like that from Battle of the Bulge, from Kelly's Heroes, even from Battle of Britain. You know, I mean, can you imagine if you have, oh my god, what is his name? It's not Mad Dog. Hey, I'm gonna look it up because I don't want, it's Oddball out of Kelly's Heroes. Can you imagine if you had Oddball out of Kelly's Heroes and he was just talking in your ear about random crap? And maybe, you know, if you bounce off someone, you know, it says that's paint or something like that. And maybe if you bounce off them again, it says, you know, the barrel isn't long enough, or maybe the music starts playing from the film, something like that. And then in the Battle of Britain film, you can obviously take it a bit more seriously with the commands and stuff like that. But you could just take a bunch of movie quotes and make them into a sound mod. Now, I'm pretty sure Gaijin themselves can't do this because there'll be copyright issues and stuff like that. But, you know, there are people in this community, and I'm sure you could make a mod around replacing certain files in War Thunder to be covered by movie quotes. I think that would be really cool. You see it in other games as well, and since we have stuff like Boris's sound mod, I'm pretty confident that something like that could be able to do. But from a Gaijin's point of view, new funny radio commands, it's something that you don't really think about quite a lot, and I definitely think it should be added into the game. We have had new radio commands over the last few weeks. I mean, there's even, like, if you look at naval forces, there's a bunch of radio commands there which are different. You know, torpedo near you and stuff like that. So it seems like they're still adding them in. So maybe that would be something to think about. The next one is another Thunder League one. This was Tricolored Smoke. So this was offered pretty early on at the 40,000 mark, 3-color aerobatic smoke. So a lot of players have this because, you know, they're veterans who pledged to the Thunder League. You have a central smoke coming from the tail, and then you have 2 smokes coming from either end of the wings. Now, for people who already have the 3-colored aerobatic smoke, maybe it would be nice for them to get the 5-colored or something like that. So basically you have 5 streams of color coming from your plane. So instead of them just being left out of this, giving them 5, because it would be nice to get to a point where your whole plane actually emits smoke out of it instead of just the 3 color. I would love to have like a 5 color for me personally, because obviously I have the 3 color right now, and if one of the tiers was just 3 colored smoke, I would be kind of annoyed. I would be fine if one of the tiers was for a vehicle that I already have, but I really would like some more smoke on my plane. And since it can't be really modded into game, it's really up to Gaijin to be able to do it. So therefore, it would be nice to have 5 stacks of smoke coming out of the plane. The tricolor, I think a lot of the community wants, so yeah, it would be nice as well. On the theme of decorations and stuff like that, as from the Operation S.U.M.M.E.R itself, if you complete all of the challenges, you get 5 different rifles, including or carbines or carabines, depending on if you're Gaijin or not. You also get the Panther 60 or 1,150,000, which we will have to pass if we're going to get these extra prizes. Then, what would also be interesting, which has never really been offered in an event like this, is bushes. Now, bushes are definitely something which it puts a line through the community. Some people think they're okay, other people don't. I sit on the side of I really don't like bushes. If it was up to me, they would never have been added into the game. Personally, I think it would have been a lot better if instead of adding them in, you add in stuff like barbed wire, you add in sandbags that you can put over your vehicle. A lot of people have talked about how camouflages, let's say you have a ton of kills in them or a ton of missions played in a certain vehicle, maybe you could get certain camouflages which would show sandbags, maybe some branches, maybe some barbed wire, stuff like that, to show that you're an experienced tanker. Well, I would like the bushes to be replaced by stuff like sandbags, because the bushes themselves, if you've ever seen a 75 jumbo, which is just full bush on the front, there's no way I can tell if it's a 75 or a 76 jumbo, or if it's a 76 HVSS S.U.M.M.E.R, or if it's just a normal 76 S.U.M.M.E.R. It's impossible for me to tell what that machine is before I hit it, and even after I hit it, I don't know if it's a HVSS, a 75 jumbo, or a 76 jumbo. It's one of the most infuriating things in the world when you get certain vehicles like that. The KV used to be like that as well, with how the bushes used to work. So, in my humble opinion, if you're not going to take them out of the game, which would be the thing that I would like to see, the way to fix it is to give everybody the opportunity to get these bushes. Now, you do have the opportunity. Everyone has the opportunity to get these bushes. The opportunity is that you do war bonds. It seems like everybody complains about war bonds, though. I don't really understand why. I understand that it's time consuming, but you only have to do half of them in a month to be able to get one of the boxes for the bushes, and then every month you can get a different box for the bush. But it seems like people don't like that. Well, I don't know what to tell you. They already offer them in a free way. You just have to work for it. And if you don't have time to do it, then you've got to make the evaluation what is worth more to you, your time or your money. But for those players who struggle with the idea of paying for bushes, maybe you give them an opportunity to be able to get maybe 3 boxes of bushes out of Operation S.U.M.M.E.R, out of the collective tasks for the collective award for the tasks. So yeah, maybe that's an idea. Something which is kind of personal to me, which I would like to see, is the idea of having one of the tiers unlocking a special dynamic campaign. There are certain campaigns in the game which you cannot unlock unless you buy certain packs or unless you unlock certain vehicles. And I think if you made those dynamic campaigns unlocked just from being able to collectively do a bunch of these tasks as an award, for me personally that would be really nice. The community may not share my opinion on it, but I really enjoy playing the single missions, and I also really enjoy playing the dynamic campaigns. which is one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to World War Mode. So hopefully they can get some more recognition. I've been an advocate for, if you want to do certain tasks, if you don't just want to do kills, supporting fire, wins, score over a certain amount, get so many kills in one match, what you should do is incorporate single missions and dynamic campaigns. But it seems like they don't want to do that, but maybe as an award that would be nice. And the last two are pretty simple, to be honest. We have upcoming content in War Thunder, access to the ship CBT, or not even the closed beta test, it's the closed beta of the beta test, I suppose, because we're not in beta testing yet. The closed alpha test, I suppose you would call it. And then also the World War Mode second stage testing. At some point they're going to have to test in World War Mode how it's going to work with random players, not just with squads. And this could be a way of trying to get that random player base into it, so they can have access to the World War Mode. The ship CBT, or the ship CBBT, whatever you want to call it, I think it would be nice having more players into it. One of the issues that I found when I was trying to test the vehicles is that there wasn't a lot of people queuing up. In arcade there was literally 0 people queuing up when I was trying to get into it. And even though I understand you want to put the paywall there for people, I think as a task or an achievement, it would be nice to open it up to the community, so they can, as a community, they can show they want access to the CBT, or the CBBT, and the same as the access to the World War Mode second stage testing. I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to it, and they'd like to get their hands on it. So, and this would also mean you get more feedback, you get more constructive feedback, you get more people talking about it, and at the end of the day, that's kind of what you want going on. But those are my ideas for the awards we could see in the last 2 prizes, after getting the Symbol of Italy and the Panther FX-8320, which I'm pretty sure we're going to get. I mean, we're at nearly 75,000 right now, or 750,000? Yeah, we're at 750,000 after completing 3 to 4 marks of distinction. So, since we need, was it 13? Yeah, 13 marks of distinction for the Type 65 and the Ki-94. I'm pretty sure we're going to at least get the Symbol of Italy, so we're going to see what we get afterwards. It all depends on if we complete those last 2, depending on how many people actually want the Type 65 and the Ki-94, but hopefully a lot of people do. The majority of people will probably just stick with the P43 and the SDKFC, but once again, we'll have to see. That's in the next few days. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any suggestions, well, let me know. Let's see what you think we should get as prizes as a community. I'll see you next time.